All right. Good day, America, and welcome to Headline Hits with LW. It is Wednesday, October the 19th, 2022. Oh boy, buckle up. Here we go. Breaking news. Breaking news. Burn It Down is still up as of right now. So we'll see what that leads to for another show, another night. But I plan on burning it down until it's down, and then I'm going to go to one of my other channels. I'm going to burn it down too. So the battle is here, folks. Midterms are days away, and we got to put out information. We got to share that information with as many people as we possibly can. The red wave is coming, and I can prove that to you guys today. Let's hit the headlines right now. All right. Here we go. So, if you're in the business for an electric vehicle, I want you guys to be aware of maybe some of the side effects of going green. Electric nightmare. An EV owner details a 15-hour torque to travel 180 or 178 miles. Electric vehicle owner, which I guess they haven't put their name out there, but who takes a road trip between Cheyenne and Casper, Wyoming. Now, I've traveled across I-80 many, many, many times, and it does not take that long to get from Casper to Cheyenne. So they went from Casper to Cheyenne, Wyoming, and was revealed his first trip was only 178 miles, and it took a staggering 15 hours to complete with his electric Nissan Leaf. Quote, it was very difficult. For example, it took 15 hours to get from Cheyenne to Casper. Alan Ohaushi told Cowboy State Daily, adding that this particular trip wasn't taking in the beginning of the EV era. So now, just for you guys to know, it really only takes about an hour and a half to make it from Casper to Wyoming. It only takes about 5 minutes to gas up your gasoline vehicle to do that. And most vehicles will travel more than 178 miles on one tank of gas. So really, there is no need for a fill up when you're in a gasoline motor. But it looks like here, in this particular trip, he had to go out of his way because the winds were too strong, and the rolling hills in Wyoming was too much for the electric vehicle. They had to detour and go to Cheyenne just to get more energy for the vehicle. And there's different stages of charging. The stage 3 charge only takes anywhere from 10 to 30 minutes, and the stage 2 can take hours to charge your vehicle. So here you have it. Government is pushing all of us to go to the Green New Deal, to electric cars, but yet they continue to have all these nightmares. California can't even charge their electric cars because of the power grid. This gentleman right here can't even go 178 miles without it being absolutely a disaster. Now, I'm not saying all electric cars are bad. I'm not saying that some of those electric cars, like a Tesla, they can go 400 or 500 miles possibly without a charge. That's very possible. But man, why are we pushing people? It's kind of like the vacation, right? Why are you pushing people and forcing people to do this against our will? This is not okay. And this is just one episode where electric cars are just junk. All right, I thought this to be a very interesting story today. You can catch it in Blaze Media, Blaze News. Although left bruised, broken, and bleeding, 2 college wrestlers threw down with a grizzly bear and survived. So let's read this a little further here. 2 sophomore wrestlers from Northwest College went antler hunting with friends in Wyoming, Shoshone National Forest over the weekend. What was supposed to be a respite from the pressures of school life and their sport turning out to be deadly competition like none other, Kendall Cummings of Evanston, weighing about 141 pounds, and Brad Lohr of Cedar City, weighing about 149 pounds, came across a grizzly bear weighing in at an estimate 800 pounds. Running away was not an option. Cummings and Lori and their compatriots, Orrin Jackson and Austin Harris, were collecting shed antlers when Lori indicated the day was coming to a close. While the group began meandering back to their vehicle, Lori and Cummings split off to see if they could secure another handful of antlers. Lori told KSL5 that the detour landed them in questionable terrain. I saw bear crap all over, and I looked at Kenny and said, "There is a grizzly." So you can catch the rest of that story there on Blaze. I got to read more. I'm sorry. I got to read more. I didn't see the button, so forgive me for that, because why is this not working? Nancy Pelosi wants to stay on my screen. I don't like that. I want her gone off my screen. Let's read more and see what they said. According to the Wyoming Game and Fish Department, the young men had found themselves at close range in heavy cover west of the Bobcat Himalaya trailhead. Sure enough, right after I said that, the bear came out of the willows, said Lori. It was thick, and it came right at me and charged me and tackled me off his cliff into a gully, and it was going at me for a little bit. So these two gentlemen, if you look at their Twitter feed here and their pictures, the one kid, he's got marks all over his skull where the bear actually put him in his mouth and tried to chew down on him. But these two wrestlers were able to fight him off. Cummings bellowing at the bear, desperate to capture his attention. When it didn't work, Cummings kicked at the grizzly and then yanked at its hair, pulling him back off of Lowry. The grizzly turned its attention to Cummings. It tackled me, said Cummings, chewing me up a bit, and then when it was done, it wandered off. So that's the kid that got his head chewed on, and then the grizzly just kind of wandered off. So these two wrestlers here fought a grizzly bear and survived, and I think that was the hero of the week story for me. I just could not imagine, and I've been in the woods a lot. I've been around bears a lot. I don't trust them. A lot of people, kind of meander out there and think, oh, they're just a bear, just leave them alone, and they'll leave you alone. Man, my head is always on a swivel, because I've had them actually come around behind me while I'm hunting and start hunting me, and I don't care for that at all. So this breaking news right here, you first heard Tuesday morning on LWN Podcast. John Estabrooks has brought this to your guys' attention. A new deadly COVID strain created by Boston University scientists kills up to 80% of the lab mice. Now, we brought this to your attention on the podcast because why are they even messing with this stuff? Researchers at Boston University combined the Omicron spike protein with the original coronavirus to create a new hybrid strand. When tested, the new virus killed 80% of the lab mice. Now, I'm not going to read any more of this. You guys can catch it at Blaze Media if you want to read more, or you can catch it on our podcast, LWN Podcast on Podbean. Here they are messing with it right before another election cycle. Why are they messing with this stuff? That's my question. All right. Woke company tells white people to sign insanely racist contract. One refuses and pays the price. So here you are, employers out there becoming more and more woke, and it's going to get ugly. Attorney Nicole Levitt loves her job representing victims of domestic violence. But when she started to notice a change after a horrific killing of George Floyd, the agency she works for started embracing an anti-racist ideology that didn't tolerate dissent. Eventually, as she was asked to sign a contract that included the statement, "All white people are racist, and I am not the exception." Instead, she knew someone had to speak out, and that it would have to be her. So here you have it. Companies are having people sign contracts that say all white people are racist. If you want to read more on that article, catch it at Blaze Media. I gotta keep rolling here. Here's the real reason why the U.S. media won't tell you about the massive protest in Europe. Lamestream media will not report on this, folks. Protesters over soaring energy and food and fuel prices have broken out across Europe, but the corrupt media cannot seem to care less. These people are protesting the same things that Americans are upset with: unaffordable living cost, inflation, energy shortages, what banks are doing to our money, and what political leaders are doing or not doing to help. Europe is ahead of the United States in the economic crisis, but the same things are happening here. While Europe faces a winter during which many may not be able to afford heat, the Biden administration is focused on things like trans surgeries, empty over strategic petroleum reserve, and throwing money at the Ukraine. So Europe, many countries out there standing up, protesting, and they're just not reporting it in the news. You won't find it anywhere but alternative media sources. Let's hit the next headline here. Scandal-plagued election software company Konnech has supplemental Chinese links despite criminal charges. CEO denies. So this has been brought out to the forefront for many weeks now. We've been talking about it, and it seems like things may be catching some traction here very soon. Michigan-based election software company filed a defamation lawsuit against the Texas-based group True to Vote in September. True to Vote had accused the company of being both owned by Chinese Communist Party and involved in subversion of our elections. Konnech denied the allegations, thought its credibility is now in doubt. On October 4th, Konnech CEO Eugene Yun, who lived in China until 1986, was arrested on suspicion of data theft, having allegedly stored critical information that the U.S. election workers provided on servers in China. So here we have it. They're out there putting it out there, and we got to get the information out to the masses. All right, next headline. Back to Breitbart. CNN's Borger. Biden doesn't want election to be about the things that people are so worried about, like inflation and the economy. On Tuesday's broadcast on CNN's Situation Room, CNN's chief political analyst, Gloria Borger, stated that President Joe Biden is talking about abortion because he doesn't want this election to be about the things that people are so worried about, like inflation and the economy. Borger stated, "I think that the resident was trying to do today is remind people, as he put it, how they felt the day that of the Dobbs decision. He was trying to make it in front and center because he knew that when it was in front and center that there would be a huge reaction to it." So what this article is talking about is, here you have the resident in charge, Joe Biden, out there gaslighting the base and getting people all wound up about Roe v. Wade instead of what really matters, which is inflation and the economy. Now, that is a political move, just like this is a political move. Joe Biden to announce the release of 10 to 15 million more barrels from the emergency oil reserve right before the midterm elections. So he's trying to bring the price down. That way they can run their little victory lap and say, "See, we dropped we dropped gas prices, vote Democrat." Well, just so you guys know, and I know you know this, but your neighbors, your family members, your coworkers, the Democrats are the ones that raised the gas prices in the first place. It's their policies, them canceling the Keystone Pipeline, them pulling the fracking permits from public land. This is a policy issue here. They created the high inflation. They created the high gas prices. So just because they go and release 10 or 15 million barrels of oil, and maybe the last week before the election, gas prices happen to drop $1 a gallon, don't forget what it was under the Trump administration. It was right around a $2.50 average across the nation. This is just a political move. I'm not going to read any more of this article. We talk about it all the time. If you want to catch it, you can catch it at Breitbart. Just bring it into your attention. Here's their move. They're going to try to see what I did right before the election. State Department cleans up diplomatic mess after Biden questions Pakistan having nuclear weapons. This guy is an absolute dumpster fire. His entire administration is a dumpster fire. His entire policies, foreign and domestic, dumpster fire. This guy, every time he opens his trap, it's just nothing but a nuclear bomb going off. And he should stick to sniffing little girls' hair and licking ice cream, because he's definitely not my president. U.S. State Department on Tuesday walked back remarks questioning Pakistan's ability to keep its nuclear weapons safe by leftist President Joe Biden, who went as far as to call South Asian nation a normal ally of America's, one of the most dangerous nations in the world. Biden made offending comments to the Democrat Party event in a private home in California last week, offering disorganized remarks, commenting on nuclear weapons. Generally, Biden mentioned Pakistan amid boasting yet again that he has a close personal relationship in dictator, president from China. I can't even say his name. Don't want to say his name. Just a mess. This guy right here is the best that the Democrat Party has. So here you go. Here's a talking point when you're talking to your friends and your family. When they say they're going to vote blue, when they're proud of the way the country is going, this is the best that you have. This guy right here who sniffs little girls' hair, who can't seem to stay away from the ice cream machine, failed policy after failed policy, can't walk up the stairs, can't ride a bike, can't form a sentence. This is the best. Facebook keeps bugging me to grab mail-in ballots off of Facebook. Then I turn right around and Instagram is doing the same thing. I'm sure all social platforms out there are encouraging millions and millions of voters to do mail-in ballots. Why? We all know why. California's Riverside County mails 5,000 duplicate ballots. The register promises that they won't be counted. Yeah, sure. Right. We believe that. The register in Riverside County, California announced Monday that 5,000 duplicate ballots have been sent by mail, but that none of them would count if voters try to vote twice. Yep, we believe that one. All right, moving on. Moving on. Let's talk about Nord Stream. All right, over 150 feet of Nord Stream pipeline gone as Denmark confirms the explosion. So this is back in the news. They are investigating what happened, and this is my point to this article right here. When they find out who did it, there's going to be hell to pay. Around 164 feet of the Nord Stream 1 pipeline is reportedly gone following alleged sabotage of the pipeline, as Danish authorities confirm the damage was caused by an explosion. And some of the information that has been put out a day or two after that explosion did not look good for NATO and America. It looked like, in my opinion, certain planes and equipment in that area at the time of the explosion, which points the finger in our direction. And now we're, Russia's dealing with this stuff. and they're not playing around. Matter of fact, it was reported to me today that Russia has given a martial law call out today, effective midnight in Ukraine. So Russia is now, it seems like, again, I haven't had it confirmed yet, that they are going to put in effect a martial law in certain regions of the Ukraine. What does that mean? Is there going to be something big happening in the Ukraine via Russia? I don't know. Pay attention. We'll find out more. Okay, former FBI agent refuses cooperation with GOP's probe into Bureau's handling of Hunter's laptop. Does this shock you? Does this surprise you? Not really. Former FBI agent Timothy Talbot refused last week to cooperate with House Republicans' probe into the Bureau's handling of Hunter Biden's laptop from Hell investigation. Now, this is what I get frustrated about. These guys seem to not have to cooperate with Republicans, but everybody is supposed to cooperate with the Democrat Party in any probe that they put out there. Matter of fact, I heard today that the J6 committee has voted 9-0. I haven't seen the article yet. I figured it would have been in some of my highlights, but I don't see it yet. But it has been said that the committee has voted 9-0 to force President Donald Trump to come testify in front of the committee on the J6 event. And he says, no problem, I'll show up, but I want the videos live. I heard that a few days ago, and I believe that's true. But is he going to do it? What does that mean? What is going to transpire from there? It's been pointed out to me. What if he doesn't show up? Here's a question. This came from Jeff B. himself. What if he doesn't show up? Will they issue a warrant for his arrest? Will he be the first arrest? We've been talking about him getting arrested for the things that they pulled out of Mar-a-Lago. Will he be arrested if he doesn't show up to a hearing? And will he be the first arrest that shocks the world? I don't know. Just a question. All right. Here's some hope for you guys. I've seen a lot of comments in chat there for a while about, is there any hope? All this stuff going on, is there any hope? Yes, here's your hope right here. And this is the proof. RNC passes a record milestone before the midterms. 78 million voter contacts. 1 million volunteers. What's this talking about? Well, supposedly the clown in the White House got 80 million votes in 2020, which won him, which selected him to the president of the United States. Selected him, right? Well, the RNC has already contacted almost 80 million voters, which again, 2020 was a historical high, if you remember correctly. So they've contacted 78 million voters, and they've got over 1 million volunteers to help with the 2022 midterm elections. The RNC, which first shared the information with Breitbart News, surpassed 2 massive milestones over the weekend. 3 weeks left before the midterm election. So what I'm telling you is they still have 3 weeks left to contact more voters. They very well could see numbers as high as 80 to 85 million voters contacted, with over 1 million volunteers all across the country that are going to be eyes on this election, video cameras, you name it. People are going to pay attention. During the 2018 midterm election cycle, the committee could only make 78 million voter contacts. So that was in 2018. They've already hit that milestone, and they still have 3 weeks left to go. So here's something I also wanted to bring to your guys' attention. Besides the millions in strategic data and digital investments, the RNC has over 1,000 staffers in the field and over 1 million grassroots volunteers and 38 brick and mortar community centers in 17 battleground states across the country to promote the party's election integrity program. So you want hope. There's your hope. I'm telling you right now, no matter what, everything's froze up. What the heck? What the heck? Sorry, guys. I just lost all control on the computer there. We back? No, we're not back.